It was Texas, it was Tennessee.
Well, Wade, welcome to Memphis.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
I'm assuming this is your first time.
Yeah.
First time here.
Literally drove in today.
Yeah, at Hernando's Hideaway.
Yep.
Pretty unique place.
Pretty historic from what I've gathered. It's like seeing all the Elvis stuff, like even Johnny Cash photos, him eating cake out in the bushes, like stuff like that. I'm like, oh, it's crazy. I'm even playing it.
This is a very unique room, but it has a great sound and a great history, man. It's nice. It's a underloved part of our city, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, well, just from the sound check we just did before, like it's immaculate. Like
easy.
You can feel the sound bouncing off you a bit. Where I've played a lot of venues where it just disappears.
It's all the old wood.
Yeah. It's got that touch to it.
Yeah, that's it. I think we take that for granted sometimes with the new nice arenas and everything.
Definitely. Yeah. I played some arenas there where I've had to actually have bass in my ears. Normally, I never have bass in my ears because I can feel it.
Right.
You can feel it bouncing off your back. But I've played some arenas where I'm like, you've got to turn that bass up, and not many lead singers would ever say that.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to the show. So for the folks that don't know who Wade is, who the hell are you?
I'm a Australian rodeo cowboy and country music singer. I come from Winton, Queensland, out in the outback. Started singing maybe about 7 years ago. Learnt guitar about 7 years ago. I was bored. Bought a $50 guitar, taught myself off YouTube, and thank God to TikTok, blowing up a few of my songs that I recorded off a bit of rodeo money, and now here I am.
There's a lot of artists that the social media thing is kind of something that they have to do, but they're not real necessarily comfortable with. Are you? I mean, I know it helped you a ton,
yeah.
But is that something you're pretty comfortable with?
I'm comfortable posting a lot of the stuff I do, like between rodeo and working on my mum and dad's ranch and, singing and that. I never seem to run out of content, to post about. So,
and now you're on the road.
Now I'm on the road, exactly. So, like, there's just always something to post about. I'm a pretty funny guy, so, like, if I can make fun of myself or the boys in my band, I try to as much as we can. So, even my sister in Australia, she comes on the road with us a lot, and we try to make her as much involved with it as possible because she's pretty funny. She'll blatantly lie when the camera's in front of her.
Only when the camera's in front of her?
Oh, yeah, no. She's pretty modest all the other time. The first time she had the camera in front of her, we were at a festival in Australia, in the hills, and we were going to get her to just say where we were and what we're doing. And our big country icon, you have Johnny Cash, we had Slim Dusty, and Holly goes on camera straight away. She grabs the microphone, she goes, "Hey everyone, I'm Slim Dusty's niece." And I was like, "No, you're not. Shut up."
I mean, that's good that part is comfortable for you because it's so needed these days.
Well,
it's part of the gig, right?
It's almost you're not as much of a musician as you are more of a social media creator, like, and that annoys me a little bit because I focus on my lyricism a lot more than anything else, and unless it's a catchy 60-second clip for TikTok, it's pretty hard to get a song out there. And I feel for other artists that aren't getting them views because there's a lot of artists I've met on this journey that I'm on that are amazing artists, amazing, talented, lyrical geniuses, but their videos get 300 views. And 100 of them are mine, probably, because I'm like, that's a great song. Yeah. Why isn't that blown up yet?
Man, honestly, we are probably on around 150 episodes of this podcast, and most of them apply in that category you just mentioned. And it's absolutely mind-blowing how much talent there is out there, but man, it's so hard to...
Yeah, it's a real shame that it's all dominated by social media, like. But at the same time, if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't be here. I think it's a luck of the draw thing, really.
Understand.
It just depends where you are, what day, what the algorithm thinks you want to see, and I'm not a brainiac, and I can't really vouch for anything like that. But yeah, there's got to be a science to it that I'm not aware of.
So some of the concerns that like of the artists that we've talked to, or that I've talked to, is like if someone pops off from social media, but they're not ready for the show, like they haven't paid those dues. How did that like come apart for you? Were you already playing when those things popped off? Did you already put the time in?
I was already playing gigs around like in the outback, and I'd love any artist who thinks they're ready for a big stage to come out there and try and play in front of a crowd of old cattle farmers and that, because they'll just straight up tell you, hey, turn that shit down. You're awful. Like they don't care, you know. They got no filter whatsoever. That most of the time they don't even want you to play original music. They just say, hey, can you play The Horses by Dale Braithwaite, 50 times, or can you play Wagon Wheel, or Chasing You by Morgan Wallen. That's all they want to hear out there.
Completely understand.
And like, you got to have thick skin out there and stand by what you believe in. Otherwise, you just give up. And when I moved from that scene just doing around me to being able to do festivals and, some big shows in Australia and America, and doing shows like that where you can actually go and express your lyricism and stuff, and they go, oh, that was a great song. And I was like, really? Because 2 cattle farmers back in Queensland told me it was shit. It's stuff like that. And you got to have that thick skin if you want to make it. You got to sort of let it just go clean over top of your head. Because, I'm a pretty big mental health advocate. And if you aren't mentally prepared for backlash, then you're probably not ready for this game.
Yes, because there's a lot.
It's a cutthroat industry, and I'm watching social media now, watching Gavin Adcock and Charlie Crockett bash each other on social media, and I'm like, I'm the friendliest dude going around. I'm like, dude, just fucking shake hands, get over it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You've got your fans, you've got them fans. Like,
so one of the clips that I you're relatively new on my radar. Honestly, my daughter she's 17. She's sent me your music before, and then because of the podcast and because of Patrick and social media, some people that I met on TikTok from Australia that promote country music. I made you came on my radar, but so. A few days ago, I saw the video of you making the guys that were fighting in the crowd hug it out. I absolutely love that.
Well, in Australia is a whole different culture, and this might be a little political, but in Australia we don't have any automatic weapons or anything like that. So in Australia, if there's tension between 2 blokes, it's normally hey, and they don't go like push and shove straight away. They go, hey, you and me outside, and they're, yep, rightio, let's go do it. And they'll punch on for about 5-6 minutes.
Get out.
Get up, shake hands, hug, and they're the best friends at the bar.
That's the way it used to be here.
That's Australia right now, and that's like my favourite thing. Like, I'm going to name drop an old cowboy mate of mine, Jordan Iker. He lives over here now. I think he's around Texas area. A hell of a cowboy, and we were somewhere, like some rodeo in Australia back when he lived over there, and he's beat the shit out of this dude, and he got up, shook his hand, walked away, and that dude was a dick, and he came back looking for him a little bit later, and Geordie had already bought him a beer, and like they'd made friends again, and this dude come back for him again, and Geordie just jumped all over him. He's like, I thought I taught you the first time, you bastard. But that's like one of my all-time friends, and like but like, that's the worst I've ever seen in Australia, is like some dude will come back trying to regain some confidence. But like in that show at Salt Lake City, like we had to, because they were like girls down the front and they were getting shoved, and I hate seeing that. I hate it. Like, I hate seeing any girl get pushed around or anything. I'll pull it right up straight away. And them 2 weren't listening to me, so I had to boss them around like their dad would. Right. And like some people were probably like on TikTok, like, look at this dude thinking he's tough. Like, I was like, someone had to do it, and it just so happened to be me.
Unfortunately, it in that situation, it has to be.
Yeah. Well, there was girls getting shoved, and I didn't want to. And them two fellas, I invited them backstage. I said, like, hey, like, you're 2 young fellas, I get it, like, but hey, this isn't the place for it. And like, they're like, oh no, dude, we're friends now. I was like, that's good. And like they asked for a photo, and I'm not getting up them again, but like, you know, because they learnt. They were having the time of their life after that because they figured out, hey, we actually like the same stuff. And
You're at the same show.
they were at the same show.
You got something in common.
Yeah, they walked out of there together. I watched them. They walked out together. Like, they were friends after that. They walked out. I was like, damn, sometimes it's the little things, you know.
I like that. The everything about that. Honestly, I like the standing up for the crowd, no matter young, old, because you can see everything that's going on for the most part. So, and to just look away from that would
That would have itched at my skin if I let that slide, you know. Like,
and it probably would have gotten worse.
Yeah, I would have probably have just been itching the whole time if I'd let that slide and had to, like, security did come over and I was like, no, don't need you. Like,
it's okay.
It's okay. Like, if I need you, you'll know. Like, and like I said before, no bad feelings about them two boys. Like, they both come up and they apologized and they proper apologised.
That's how it's supposed to.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I'm just happy he's got over it. And they were like, oh, yeah, no, we've been talking. We're friends now. And I'm like, that's what it's about. Mm-hmm. Some of the best friends I ever met, like, have tried to punch me teeth down my throat, you know?
Right.
Like, my best friend of all time, Paddy Wall, up at Cloncurry, like a town over from me in Australia. First time I met him, I was like 10 or 9. And we were at this rodeo, and I threw a log at him off the balcony of this building, hit him in the head, half knocked him out, and I went down there, tried to fight him again, and we got split up. A couple of years go by, and I hated this dude for ages, and we go to boarding school. I was going to boarding school, and in Australia, boarding school's a good thing. You're not a bad kid to go to boarding school.
I got you.
We went over, like, because I was going to play rugby and wanted to do some cool things, so I was like, oh, I might as well go to boarding school. Got a scholarship, and went there, and we're at the uniform shop the first day, and here's that same dude, and I was like, oh, damn. We got up to the dorms, and I just walked up to him. We shook hands. Best friends ever since then. Never had an argument. Like, I'll call that dude tonight probably. Talk about the football in Australia because my team's playing, and he's always good with footy analytics. He used to be a commentator for footy.
He can fill you in.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he's gonna give me the good stats. You know, he works, he does water and ice in Cloncurry now. We still he was in one of my music videos recently, because he was a part of that story back in the day about the One Night Stand music video. Yeah, he was a part of that story back in the day. Those two fellas, they're not actors, they're actual dudes that were around me.
That's cool.
And I was like, yeah, well, that's, in my opinion, I'm like, if you can't give back and make it personal for people in my area to go, hey, look, there's Paddy Wall. Oh, there's Scalzi. How cool's that? You know, it's not really worth it, you know.
Right. And they work for cheap.
Oh yeah. No, I think I bought him a lunch at a pub in Australia, a few beers, and then we filmed the night bit at a different pub, the pub that it actually happened at. But yeah, we went across the road to a different pub and bought them dinner and had a few more beers, and then they just went home, went to work the next day, and that. None the wiser that I just, you know, got a 3 days work out of them.
That's right.
They're good mates of mine, and yeah. But like, fighting has no place at my shows, ever. I'll always pull it up, and especially if girls are getting shoved around like that, you know. Well, they weren't getting shoved around; they were just getting bumped, and it was going to get dangerous and sloppy, and I just didn't want it to happen. I hit the nail on the head when I could, and pulled the boys up. Like, we've had to do it a few times in Australia. Like, we had a girl with a seizure in Brisbane one day, and no one, well, it was a pretty young crowd, no one sort of knew what was happening, and I just pulled the show up, and we went, hey, can we get someone over here? And we were off the stage for about 20 minutes, and we're like, no, don't worry, we'll play the rest of the songs, but her priority first, like, and yeah, sent her a heap of merch, and she was in good spirits. I called her the next day. She was pretty upset that she didn't get to see the rest of my songs. I was like, oh, next time, don't worry, you know,
right,
we'll see you next time.
That's cool that you can have that relationship with you, you know, with people like that, even in not great situations.
Yeah, it's life, right? You know, like you gotta be able to take life as it comes, and like I said, I've met friends fighting, I've met friends pulling fights apart, I've met good people through some pretty bad situations, and I'm very personal with my fans, you know. Like I'm always like they'll send me a message and say, "Hey, Fighting Tears did the changed my life" or something like that, and I go, "Hey, dude, I'm proud of you. Good work on pulling yourself out of that situation." You know, it's that stuff is more than what any money could pay me on any stage. It's always been about the fans for me. It's never been about, oh, how famous can I get? I couldn't care less about the fame. I want to go rodeoing.
You want to go
when I'm days off and just be a normal cowboy again, you know. For me, the fame's a very, very little part of my head that just goes over here. It's always like I get off stage, I'm like, all right, let's go sign some things real quick.
Stuff.
Yeah, make sure I'm ready for the next show because I want to give them 100%, you know.
What are your kind of short-term goals? I mean, you know, if you're not necessarily chasing the fame, which is great to hear, honestly.
Yeah, I think the short-term goal for me is to sort of represent Australia, not in like, hey, I am Australia's greatest, you know. I just want to be like, hey, I'm a dude from Australia, sings country music. You might like it, you know. For me, the short-term goal is to be able to come over here a lot more and sing a lot more. A lot of my fans are from over here, and this is our first headline tour ever.
There's some sitting outside on the deck waiting to
already.
For
That's crazy.
Yep.
Dude, I never even thought I'd see Memphis.
And young, he's probably, I don't know, 13.
Crazy.
And he was like, hey, you think that I could go in and use the bathroom? I'm like, yeah, come on, I got you. You know what I mean? You got a little while to be.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Which is cool. How even in Australia, there's your, like I said, my daughter sent me your music, you know, a year or two ago, and does that age thing seem to be consistent in Australia as well? Or I mean, I know you have fans of all different ages, but
I do have a few younger fans in Australia. I tend not to do all ages shows in Australia.
Okay.
Because the ones that are 18 plus, that's our drinking age, and they sort of, you know, they finally letting loose. They're going out on the town. They're going to a Wade Forster concert. I would hate to see a young kid getting swarmed or, you know, in the mosh pit getting hurt, and, you know, there might be a day where I do an all ages tour, and, you know, but
understand. I get that.
Yeah, I just
There's
don't.
a big difference between 18 and 21.
But them festivals, like the kids come right up the front, and my fans are pretty respectful of kids. They'll let them right up the front.
Cool.
The kids come right up the front, and that's what I love about Australia. They go, ladies and kids right up the front, and all the boys, they'll hang back. They can still see me. They're not worried about like grabbing things. You know, I'm always throwing merch and tidbits off the stage and stuff like that. But in Australia, we don't really do meet and greets either. We sort of just do. You play, you go to the merch tent, and you sign until everyone's happy.
Right.
Like, God, I've signed boots, beer cans, boobs. You know, I think the weirdest thing I signed was a dead set, a piece of paper from a tattoo shop with like a special pen, and they went and got my signature tattooed, and I was like, it's not even a good signature.
Let me redo that. Well, one of the things I want to make sure that I talk about, because our podcast is called Texas to Tennessee, right? And
yes.
I'm the Tennessee part. The co-host Steve, he's in the DFW area.
In the stockyard, baby.
He's not that far away. I get to actually meet him for the first time in the stockyards in October. So
nice.
And Patrick from Country vs. Metal as well.
Well, Patrick's from the East Coast, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he
is. He was
going to making the trip in. I'm making the trip in.
He was going to try and make one of my shows. I was like, dude, I'm not going really anywhere near you. But like, if you do rock up, just message me. I'll get you in, you know? Because I've been listening to that dude. That dude's given me heaps of good music.
Yeah.
First time I ever heard of Colton Moore and the Clever Few.
Mm-hmm.
First time was on his. I was like, I think it was Mine or Mine, and I was like, dude.
The crazy part is most of that is the first time he's heard that as well. So the co-host Steve is the one that feeds him all the music.
Oh, and he just says, "Hey, this one now." That's cool. It's a genuine reaction.
Effort. Yes,
that makes me feel better because, like, you know, people say, "Oh, it's my first time listening to it." I was like,
"No, he tries his best not to stay away from it."
That's perfect. That's so cool. That's genuine as like.
Yep.
That makes me feel better, like, because when he reacted to my song, he's like, awesome vocals, and he's sitting there, and he's just like, the lyrics are great, and I was like, dude, he hates the song, and then he goes, that violin's awesome, this is a great song, and I was like, dude, I want him over, and I was still gigging and working ranches out there when he'd done my song,
Right.
I was like, yeah, I was sitting there, I was eating lunch, and I was like, had cow shit and blood all over me, we've been branding calves all day, and I was like, hell yeah, that's a little win for me because the rest of the day is going to be pretty shitty.
Right. We talk to people that they might be from Delaware, where Patrick is, or from Tennessee or whatever. But whenever they start making music that resonates with the Texas artist or the Texas audience, and when I say Texas music scene, I really mean that whole from Texas all the way up to
the
Montana.
Midwest.
You know,
That's the Midwest, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And that, you know, Idaho, Montana, all of that scene. But when you get in, it's like they welcome you in. At least the fans and a lot of the artists do as well.
Yeah.
How do you really kind of know how that happened for you?
It's been a whirlwind ride
Mm-hmm.
because like I didn't grow up in a music family or anything. I grew up in a cowboy family. Like my dad was a bronc rider, my mum was a breakaway roper, my sister's one of the best cowgirls in Australia.
You think that helped you?
I think it definitely shaped who I am and the
Well,
songs
I mean, as
that I
far
wrote.
as people listening to, giving you a chance because you are
I think
you're not just putting on a cowboy hat.
No, God, no. Like, I had to fix all my brims all crooked and got kinks in it from doing stupid shit rodeoing. I don't put the act on. Like, the minute I go home, I got to do a tour there, and then I finally get to be actually in my bed at home in December sometime. And when I get back home, I already know me and my sister are just going to rope all day, you know. It's not an act, but it definitely shaped my songs and my stage presence. I treat the stage the same way I do a rodeo arena. You know, I've got respect for the stage as much as I respect the rodeo arena. I make sure all the boys respect it the same way. They're not, you know, throwing rubbish around and stuff like that. Like that's my. You know.
think that is why those fans could relate?
I think maybe. I think because they come
legit.
They I think they've been longing for a dude that's just coming along that's going, hey, I'm a cowboy, if you don't like me, fuck off, you know, sort of thing. It's pretty cool because a lot of people, they're like, oh yeah, now I'm country now, and like that's cool. Like everyone used to message me and they're like, oh, did you see Beyonce's Country Now? And I'm like, that's cool. I don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
I don't give a fuck. I think it's awesome for our genre. Like
it's not for me. It doesn't
not
matter.
That song, this ain't Texas. Like I remember I listened to that. I was like, it's a bop. It's awesome. It's a good song. There's so many hateful people that go, if you didn't ride in a saddle, you're not country. I was like, well, I've rode in a saddle, and I know you haven't rode in a saddle. So what do you have to say to people that aren't country? You know. I just like.
I feel weird talking about stuff like that too because I'm not a cowboy.
Oh,
I grew up in the middle of nowhere.
Dude, but
I'm a country person, but I'm not a cowboy.
Yeah,
you know?
You're a music fan,
right?
But like, at least you're accepting to go. Hey, that most people go, oh, he's not from Texas. Why is he singing Texas country music? Because I grew up on that, rodeoing around with my dad and all of his friends and listening to it on CDs. And them old busted bronc rider cars and shit like that. And
what were some of the U.S. artists that were playing on those some of those CDs?
Brooks and Dunn, Big and Rich.
Okay. That time period.
Yeah, Garth Brooks, George Strait.
I got you.
But I used to go way back because Dad grew up with older cowboys, so I was listening to Tom T. Hall and Hank and
And that's the stuff you had to play.
Yeah. Patty Loveless. Fucking love Patty Loveless. Reba McEntire.
Patty's probably my favorite female country singer.
Dude, no, Reba's mine.
Really?
I probably have told this to a lot of people. Probably never said it on a podcast. Reba was my first crush.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something about a redheaded girl that used to rodeo and sings like that. It's a dream.
And that's the nights that the lights went out in Georgia.
Yeah.
I want to be in Georgia,
dude. That song. I remember buying that on iTunes. I liked it that much, and I had a little iPod, and it only had like 12 songs. But if I had a Spotify rap back then, it would have been like, you played the nights went out in the night the lights went out in Georgia 4,000 times this year.
Hey, it could be worse for sure. Well, let's talk. I want to make sure we get to. You got a single coming out next week.
Yes.
What's the single?
Single's called Emily. I wrote it about I write all my songs. I hate co-writing. I'm not against co-writing. It's
just not natural.
It doesn't feel right to me to be talking about stories with another person who wasn't there.
And that you don't have that connection.
We don't have that connection, you know. And they're like, "Oh, we should write a song." I was like, "Great. What do you know about cowboying?" And they go, "Oh, yeah, you ride bulls." I was like, "I don't ride bulls." I was like, "I'm a team rover and I'm a steer wrestler." And they're like, "Oh, that's where you ride the bull, right?" And I'm like, "All right, we're never writing a song. You and me are never writing a song." But I wrote this song about a girl that was in our band when we first started. So all these boys that are with me now, they're the originals.
Okay.
I've never traded them out, nothing like that.
So they all made the trip over. That's
No, I bought them from Australia. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't change that for anything. You know, I could be playing arenas, and I still want to bring these boys because they're my boys. It's a family. If you don't have that pact with your band, people see that.
Man, I'm a barroom guy. We play regular gigs or whatever, and played last night. Little small town whiskey distillery, but all the family was able to be there. Maybe 100 people, just playing cover songs.
Yeah,
but it's my buddies that I've been playing music with for
exactly
a dozen years, and I wouldn't. And now my kids are almost grown, and their kids are toddling around. You know, and I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be.
It's natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I got into music, I treated it the same as rodeo, like I said, and. You travel around with the same dudes all year round. I travel around with my dudes all year round. In Australia, we say they're FTC for the cause, you know.
Uh-huh.
I take these dudes anywhere. But we had a girl in the band, and she left about this time last year to go do her own. She was a solo artist as well. She used to play fiddle for us, and really lovely lady. Still got a lot of time for her. So do all us boys. Yeah, when she left...
We'll be done in like 2 minutes.
When she left, it was almost like a breakup because she was the little sister of the band, and we always made sure she had everything. We always looked after her, and it was like a breakup for all of us boys because the next gig after, we were like, oh, we feel weird, you know, we don't have her here. And her name's not Emily, you know, her name's Fliss. And... You know, I wrote the song about her and I showed her and she's like, you know, this is a really lovely song. And I was like, yeah, it was like a breakup. And she's like, I would never date you. And I was like, thank you, darling. Thank you, darling. I appreciate that.
Well, I know they're about to sound check your opener there. I got to meet him too. That's
really Travis cool. Roberts is the future, baby. Hey. Dude, he rocks.
Well, we linked up, so stay tuned.
Yeah,
he'll be on the pod at some point in time.
Hell yeah.
Are you got an album coming out in October, right?
October 24th, Gooseneck Party, and in Australia, Gooseneck Party's our version of tailgating.
Okay.
But we do it at rodeos, and it's never planned. It's never, hey, we should have a Gooseneck Party. It's just the bar shuts and the cowboys go, well, whose trailer are we going to? And if you're having a gooseneck party, if anyone's had one, you know the wildest shit you've ever seen has happened. I've seen fights, relationships. I've seen people started their relationship to getting married and having kids at gooseneck parties. I've seen, you know, people bet how far they can throw a can, lose hundreds on it.
Right.
It can't be replicated. It just sort of happens. And yeah, that when I made this album, I was like, well, people need to know this is what us cowboys do to keep ourselves, you know. This is where we talk about our feelings or talk about shit that's happening. And yeah, it's a pretty cool album. It's 22 songs and
22,
yeah.
And you wrote?
I wrote all of them. Oh, except for one. Travis Roberts wrote one.
Okay, that's cool.
And I heard it at Turkey, Texas, at Hotel Turkey.
Oh yeah.
And
I'd love to go there sometime.
Oh, it's a beautiful venue. Yeah. I was addicted to that song ever since, and I called up Travis Roberts and Jordan Nix. They both wrote it. And I said, can I please cut it? And they said, yeah, dude, be my guest. And I was like, thank you so much.
I don't want to hold them up, but one of our guests that was on like a month ago was Levi from the Valley Music Fest. And that was your first gig,
That was our
right?
first gig over here.
From Can you kind of how was?
It was great. It was great. Like we were welcome.
I think that was their first year, right? I think
that's their first year,
yeah.
and it was great. You know, like the vibe.
It
was
looked
good.
beautiful.
Oh, it was a scenic place. You know, everything about it just worked, and hopefully they'll get me back one day. You know, because like like the stage was here and the big mountains in the back and pretty scenic.
I'm happy for
Aussies.
them. They seem to have it.
That Levi was a lovely dude too.
Yeah.
He made sure I had everything. Like he made sure I was real comfortable, especially my first headline tour, and that was the first stop. You know, it was like, a bit scary, but he was like, "Hey, if you need anything, come get me." You know. And
Well, you got a bunch of sold out or almost sold out shows on this run, so it's very cool. Very cool to see.
The only one we didn't sell out was Minneapolis, but God, if you could fit another person in that room, be my guest. But
Yeah,
I don't think you're getting it. But everywhere else is sold out.
Very cool.
And for an Australian to come and do that, it's ridiculous. Like we don't even get to play a festival over here, let alone do this shit. So I'm representing my country, and hopefully this shines a light on the rest of the industry over there. Hey, there's country music over here because there's some great talent down there. You know, and I've got one of my Australian friends coming up on stage with me tonight. She's been at Americana Fest, and that
was going on this week.
So she's coming up, and her name's Piper Butcher, and she's female Chris Stapleton.
Okay.
She can sing the lights down. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Oh, I hope you enjoy it.
All right. Well, we'll let you get to it. I appreciate the time, man. It was good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. See you.